Classic Steve Morse, right? Yeah, man, that is such a jam. Let's talk about it today. Let's talk about alternate picking something like that and not letting it turn into a situation where it just destroys your hand and you can get through it. I love this tune. I've always loved Steve Morse. You guys know that. And this year we've got him at the Woodshed Guitar Experience, which is going to be amazing. That's out in September. And, you know, Steve's going to be there. Brent Mason's going to be there. Andy Timmons. Who else have we got this year? Jake Workman, Ariel Posen, Tom Quayle. It's going to be really great having such a staunch, powerful group of alternate pickers, right? With like Jake and Steve. And then on the other side of the coin, having like Mr. Legato with Tom and Dave Beebe. So with this tune and a lot of alternate picking things, this stuff kind of turns into a situation where you're trying to burst speed it, and then you're able to play it for a few minutes, and then it just kind of it evaporates and you can't keep it going, right? Yeah, what's up, man? All the way from the UK. Good to see you. Hope everything's translating here today with audio and video. So let me get some more folks in here as things are going. Yeah, Corey James is in here in the house. I am looking to reset up my whole studio. I've got a video call with fine folks at Sweetwater on Thursday. We're going to look at like a new desk situation. I'm interested in something that's a little more ergonomic. As always, if you're interested in taking your playing farther, make sure to go to my Patreon, and that's patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos and posts and all that stuff going on. All right, so let's dig into this thing and talk about some alternate picking items that are going to happen. Basically, this thing kind of moves through some different keys, different themes and motifs. It's all the parts that we know. We've heard the tune is STRESSFEST is the name of the tune, and it's on the album of the same name, right? So, first things first, with a tune like this, you really kind of got to get loose and comfortable with your alternate picking. If you could just sit on one string, so that's the kind of thing that you're trying to get to where it's nice and even and it feels good, and you're not overexerting anything. You're not playing too light. You're not playing too heavy. There's like a nice middle ground in there. I have a pretty intense input level on my right hand. I think that's why amps and pedals and stuff that are on the darker flare sound better with my style of playing. So with that, if you could just get that thing kind of even. We're in the key of G here, and let's just start moving up and down the B string while pedal toning the G. That's all on the G, right? And so now we're going to go down to the D. And I'm just trying to get to where that thing that I can do with the open string is just available with me switching strings, right? Because what's going to happen is the number one theme in this song is this idea right here. It's this arpeggiation that's like, if you're around the root on your first finger, on the first string, let's say we're still in the key of G for the main melody. So we're going to have this G. The main trick of the tune is this pattern right here. Right? That's throughout the whole tune. That little theme is everywhere in this thing. So if you can get that going, excuse me. So if you get that, you could be able to do that on multiple string sets. So you can put it in different harmonies too. Okay, so now let's take a look at the things that kind of are signature moments of it, right? I'm just going to kind of go across the front head of the tune, kind of signature moments. Right? So now if you're looking down the barrel, try not to think of this stuff as frets and tablatures. Think of it more like grips and positions. So with this grip, I see the root in my first finger, and I see it down here. I see my thirds. Seven right there. So there's 7, 3, 7, 6, 5. So basically I'm just seeing the major scale with a dominant 7. That just means a flat 7, right? It's an F natural. Okay, so that's all in that G position. I'm bending up from the 7th to that root for the first one. Right, so it is the C major scale, but I'm not seeing it as the C major scale. I'm seeing it as G major. Because that sounds like the root. That sounds like home base. It's just G major with a flat 7. And that does overlap with the C major scale or the A minor scale, right? It's all the same. It's all the same information. The difference is how I'm landing the phrase and the resolution. So I'm resolving back to G. That's the big thing. Right? That's G major, like a raised, like a C major thing. G major. That feels like F to me. G, right? C, G, F, G. And it's that 4-note grouping where it's like two notes on the top string, 2 notes on the string below that, right? Okay, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. The topic is the Steve Morse song "Stress Fest." That's what the meat and potatoes of today is going to be about, right? Okay, now this next part is very debatable. I'm not saying that I have it note for note. What I will say is I have studied Steve playing it in a live context, and there are fluctuations within how he delivers it. Like if you were to study Van Halen playing live, right? Van Halen doesn't play everything note for note the same way every single time. There's fluctuation there. So this next section is debatable on how it's played. I'm actually going to ask Steve about this at Woodshed, because this is one of those moments I've always kind of wondered what the exact phrasing he was using. Because, okay, let me show you why this is debatable. We have a D on the high string, and we have a D on the B string, and I hear the so I don't know exactly which one is which. Okay, yeah, I think that's it, in my opinion. Okay, so also, it's of note that in the live versions, I hear this really subtle, right? So it could be, I've seen a lot of tablatures and transcriptions saying it's a double A there. I've seen him play it, and boy, there's some live ones where I hear this. So I think both ways would be acceptable, because Steve does, decorate. He adds some decorations in there. Right? And that's an A. Sorry. Now we're going to go to the third part. I'm going to come back to this, but the next one is... So you see how important it is when I was talking about the at the beginning of today's hang about playing a series of notes on one string and being able to alternate back into the other one, because I feel like everybody on the planet that's been playing guitar for some amount of time can get a nice even... It's when it comes to changing the strings. Right, those kind of things, they get deep into the weeds of accuracy, right? So let's hit this again. And again, I don't know if it's... with that extra D. I don't know which one that falls on. Watching him play it, it's definitely in this position, but it's hard to listen to which one that is. Ah. Put on some metronome, just see what we sound like. That's about right, I'd say. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, That's slow. That's slow as Christmas. That might be a little fast. Bring it down one. Whatever it goes into, right? So, woo! it's very appropriately named the Stress Fest, right? It's got that fiddle tune thing in it that I love. So let's go back through it one more time here and kind of dissect it. Let's start with that one. So that one's... Like you're gonna have all. What's that lick? Yeah. All right, woo! Trying to get the hands loose. Goodness gracious. No economy picking at all in that. That's all alternate picked. One more time. So you're trying to get that thing going. Oh, Jeremy's saying it reminds me of a song on Petrucci's first album. That thing, right? That thing. I don't remember whatever that thing is. I know that's Glasgow Kiss, but I don't remember how it goes. Sounds similar to John Petrucci's Happy Song. So you guys are talking about how much, dude, let's just put the guitar down for a second. Woo! You guys are talking about how much this sounds like John Petrucci. I'm seeing John Petrucci, sounds like John Petrucci. Let me tell y'all a not so well-guarded secret. Steve Morse is one of John Petrucci's all-time favorite players. All-time. So when you hear these types of things in JP's playing, and JP's a good friend of mine, it's really weird to say that now, like, because he was such a hero for so long, but, you know, he and I have kind of become buddies. And, man, it's really cool. Just to get the inside track, you know, from like one of your heroes. So he was like, you know, man, I listen to the Dixie Dregs all the time. That was Steve Morse's band, right? And Steve Morse band and stuff. And so, John lifted a lot of these things from Steve, and they're integrated into his DNA just as much as they're integrated in the rest of, you know, all of us that worship at the altar of Steve Morse. You're going to hear a lot of this type of stuff in Ian Thornley's playing too. He's definitely a big Steve Morse worshiper. I know I am, right? So this stuff, when you say it sounds like Happy Song or it sounds like Glasgow, you know, it's like, yeah, I would say John would be the first one to be like, yeah, that's the Dregs influence, right? Sneaking in there. Sebastian is saying right here, Sebastian is saying that Steve's solo on Kansas Silhouette in Disguise is so tasty. I've not heard that. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, Robert's saying Happy Song, right? It's yeah, this is the tune called STRESSFEST, right? Sounding Killer as usual. 2 questions. This is Stefano. Stefano, hope you're well. Sounding Killer as usual. 2 questions. 1, when is the new album coming out? 2, any plans to tour Northeast? Yes, we're going to do all those things. New album. The single will drop. Let me look in here. According to the schedule, the updated schedule that I have from yesterday. Chuck, everybody say hi to Chuck. He's our lovely moderator as always, and nothing that I have going on right now would be feasible without Chuck's assistance. That's an understatement of the century. So here we go. It looks like June 18th is going to be an announcement of pre-order for and the first single. July 9th will be the second single, and August 9th will be the album release with the third single. So we're going to do a ramp up 3 in a row, starting on, what did I just say? Starting on June the 18th. That'll be the start. Yeah, thanks, Chuck. That'll be the start of the ramp up. So I'm really excited about this record. I feel like it's, you know, I feel like it's just kind of been going and like, but bringing in someone like Bob Frank. This is a distribution company partnering with the Orchard, which is like big distribution. Again, thanks to John Petrucci. You know, John, if you see this, man, I appreciate you so much. John was the guy that he heard the record. I'll tell you a quick story about the record. We were mixing it. Jimmy T mixes for Dream Theater and does monitors for those guys. A great guy named Michael Ace is the front of house often on those things. And Jimmy T is monitor guy. Jimmy T engineers the records for Dream Theater and John, the solo record. He did that one too. And so when Jimmy was mixing my new record, he was mixing it up at the DT studio. And when he was mixing it, John would, you know, got to hear some of it. And like, you know, we would sneak him a couple little snips and just little tidbits, little crumbs, breadcrumbs. And man, John really had some really kind things to say and he's really fired up about it. And he was so generous to intervene and say, hey man, you know, how are you releasing this really? And so he helped connect me with the people that did his record. So I'm beyond flattered and honored. I mean, that doesn't even sound real when I'm saying it. It's kind of surreal. The whole thing's kind of surreal. It's weird, you know, you work so hard and all you see is the work, that when you take a step back and I hear myself saying this stuff, it doesn't sound real. But these are the kind of things that I've always, you know, fought for my whole life to make happen with music. And it's really kind of crazy. Just telling you guys this story. First time I guess I've ever really thought about it. Wow. But yeah, so Orchard is the distribution company, and they're like a subsidiary of like a Sony, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's basically their big pipeline that allows you to get to all the DSPs. So yeah, man, really cool little history or connection, and to be sitting here talking about Steve Morse and that be John's guy. And, obviously you guys are saying, it sounds like John Petrucci. I'm like, yeah, it does. Cause John loves Steve Morse, right? We're going to put together some dates. The dates that are on the near future are North Carolina, Wilmington, Raleigh, and then, man, an amazing show with Seth in Nashville, Tennessee. Seth Rosenbluth is going to be in Nashville. And we're going to have Brent Mason come and sit in on a couple of tunes, which will be great. He's going to do the Free Range Chicken with us, which is going to be the first single. I'm really excited about that. So that would be, mark that on your calendars, June 18th. Sahara's in the house, just joined Steve Morse STRESSFEST with the dinosaur. Yeah. Let's go over it. Let's talk about it. So we have the front of it. It's got the pedal tone lick. Let's kick that metronome back on. Maintaining relaxation. That's really big, guys. I'm just thinking like this. You see what I mean? Like when I'm talking about getting this in time. Yeah, that's the goal, right? It's just to get that thing in the pocket, get it feeling good. Moving forward. That next section is the one in debate. And I feel like that sounds right. Robert's saying it's G Lydian. That's actually incorrect. It's not going to be a G Lydian. Let me show you what that sounds like, Robert. G Lydian will sound like this. Here's that raised fourth thing, right? What we have here, Robert, is G dominant 7. See what I mean? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1. Yeah. Like all those fours, right, put in there together. Okay, now see how that harmony is working together. So my knees hurt saying I don't know a lot, but I know the C major scale all over the neck. Only took me 25 years to learn 12 notes. Yeah. So the C major scale over the neck is actually G mixo. So if I play, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So if we play G mixo, we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? So it's the same thing, but it's how you phrase it. This is the thing where I don't like where modes are explained and they're dumbed down and distilled down to the point where it's like, oh, just play C major over that. Just play C major over a G. That's technically right, but you're going to phrase like crap and your phrasing's not going to sound right. Make sense? Like here's G. Now if I just play C, it doesn't sound right. But if I play G using that information, see how it phrases different? That minor third resolution. Okay, now let's go into the third section. That's kind of got the Glasgow fit. So I've seen a lot of variations. Again, this is something where I've seen guys say it's. I mean, it sounds like there's. Steve's saying, is it dominant seventh because the fifth of C major with a flat seven? We're not thinking of C major. We're thinking of G. Think of G. G with a flat seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat seven. 1. We're thinking of G with a flat seven. Megamouth is saying, I've heard you say you are doing private lessons. Try to look through Patreon, but don't really see anything. Yeah, if you look on Patreon, I'll repost the link. Unfortunately, Patreon's layout's not the best. The private lessons for the masterclass tier is done through Calendly. And I'll post that link up so you can see that. I'll do that when this ends today. I'll make a video and put that up. So yeah, that just slide down through the Patreon wall, and I'll actually pin a post, put a playlist or something, to where I can, a little bit easier to achieve, to get that. Yeah. But yeah, that's still a thing. We're doing it. It's all good. I'll get you in. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. For those who don't realize, I'll just interject real quick, tell you what Patreon's all about. It's not, I don't really run mine like a lot of guys. A lot of guys are like, hey, here's the tabs. Like, I'm not dismissing that. That's great if that's how you absorb, but that's not really how I've learned in my life. And the players that I know, they'd never learned by tabs. If people want something tabbed out, yeah, I mean, I can put it up there. No problem. Basically, what makes my Patreon mine is I run it very community oriented with weekly live Zoom masterclasses. And so you can come in on Wednesday night and see the masterclass, engage, have your guitar, ask questions, all those things. Outside of that, I do tons of lesson videos that are exclusive to that platform that kind of walk you through, like I'm doing today, walk you through a piece of music or an idea, musical idea, so you can get a better understanding of what makes something work. Like, we're focusing really hard on the harmony and the technique behind STRESSFEST. If you notice, I'm not spoon feeding it to you going, play the 18th fret and bend it to the 15th fret. I mean, I think it's more important that you see what those notes are. That's made up of G, A, B, D, E. That means the next time you see that somewhere else on the neck, Now you've got that available. Now you can make a lick out of it. Now you can just kind of run wild and make these licks kind of, they can grow beyond learning a Steve Morse tune or learning just what this is note for note, right? It's more, so ATX is saying I'm definitely a tab guy, but I just didn't grow up in a musically talented environment. Here's the thing, tab guy or not, musically talented environment growing up or not, I think it can solve any issues that you have in how you approach it. Just, yes, you can understand that this is 15, 17, 19. But if you have that, that's the only place is 15. That's the only 17. That's the only 19 on the E string. So what you're doing is you're cutting yourself off from understanding that this is G, A, B. Now, if that's G, A, B, and that's just 2 whole steps away, that means that every time that I have a G note, 2 whole steps on the same string will be A and B. So now I've got G, but I know that this is A and B. I can do it down here. So now if I've got that, then I know that this is not 15 on the B string, it's D. D is the 5 of G. G, A, B, C, D. D's the 5th. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Now I've got 2, 5, 4, flat 7, and 1. Now, why am I smiling so big? Because, bro, look, now I can play that anywhere. Right? Where's another great set? Look how much fretboard I've got now, right? So if you're programmed in ATX, I'm kind of talking to you, ATX right now. If you only memorizing this as tabs, that means you've got to memorize the entire fretboard. That's kind of awful. Now I'm just doing the same thing and I'm putting it over here. Boom, boom, boom. It fits here. It fits here. Look, G, G, G. Let's play that same pattern in all 3 octaves. So now we've made the whole world of the guitar as far as this STRESSFEST lick goes. Well, now I didn't just learn one thing that I can only play over one song. You see what I'm trying to instill here and get this value out of a different approach to how you think about it. If you're thinking about it just in the the very formulaic kind of hieroglyphic of tablature, then you're always just married to that, right? What we want to do is just, hey, I learned this Steve Morse thing that Andy was talking about on Tuesday, and now I can put it in the middle of Crossroads on Saturday, right? Yeah, those are my thoughts on it, right? It's like, this is the kind of stuff that I think's valuable, and more so than, it's not the lick that you learn, it's the process that makes it valuable. Me and Travis Toy talk about this a lot. The process of learning, more valuable than the lick, because then you're understanding what makes it work and how it fits across the instrument. So I teach a lot of this stuff on Patreon. I'm actually going to make some videos here in just a little bit. And man, I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Please go to Patreon and just turn it on for a month. For $5, go turn it on. For $25, you get 4 live masterclasses on Zoom. Let me say that again. For $25 a month, okay? For $25, that's like 2 trips to Taco Bell, right? And if you got a family, that's 1 trip to Taco Bell. Right? So for $25, you get 4 2-hour masterclasses. That's 8 hours of live Zoom masterclass. Patreon.com/AndyWoodMusic is where all of this stuff funnels. I appreciate you guys that are trying to get those masterclasses over there with the one-on-ones. Just use the Calendly app. Little housekeeping, June 23rd for all of my brethren that are in the greater Nashville area. June 23rd, that will be at the Cannery Ballroom. So really looking forward to that. That's the Mill at the Cannery Ballroom. I'm here. I'm giving it away right now, like on YouTube. And the only way that I can do this is because of the support over there. So Cannery Ballroom, June 23rd, June 18th, Free Range Chicken will come out. I'm excited about that. And you guys have a great introduction here to STRESSFEST, the classic Steve Morse band song. And I hope you have fun. I hope you have fun picking on it. It's a good time. It's a good song to get into for these not exercise things, but people always ask what exercises I did growing up. I didn't. I played tunes, and this is just a great tune. So if you really want to know the secret of this stuff, it's like I never really worked on exercises. I was just working on tunes, and this is just a perfect one for alternate picking and that kind of thing. So, a lot of Wheatley today. There's so much Wheatley, but man, when you hear that tune, I'm not going to play it because I don't want to deal with copyright stuff. I'm not going to play the album, but man, check out that tune. It's killer. It's got the dinosaur and the airplane and the castle on the cover with the family and the station wagon. It's really fun. It's a great cover. A bit of that album artwork is inspirational to me because it's just a bunch of random stuff that just, it kind of inspired the new album artwork. Greg Goldberg in the house. Love you, buddy. Hope everything's good your way. And all you guys in here hanging out with us today, man, I really appreciate you. And we'll see some of you guys Wednesday night. So yeah. As far as the question I see glaring at me about the Sweetwater stuff, there's so much video content that we shot at Sweetwater. So much. So I'm excited to get that out. With that said, be blessed, everybody. I hope you have a great week of picking, and I hope this brings you some inspiration and some joy and unlocks some doors. So we'll see you.